Hey guys, Drifter here. Unfortunately, today, instead of playing Fortune's Keep or doing any fun Call of Duty stuff, we have to put on our big boy pants and talk about the big news, which is Roe v. Wade being overturned, which means a lack of access to abortion and abortion rights to a lot of women in the United States. And I promise you, I swear to God, I didn't want to do politics today. I had all these gaming videos planned. I know I've been doing these personal ones and these sort of Simpsons meme, old man yells at clouds kind of moments. Looking at my board over here, I had a video on teamfight tactics. I was working on a script or outline about AI deepfakes and a fun one about mobile gaming, even had a product review. But this just kind of takes precedence because it's very important. We've changed our legal precedents for that matter, little pun intended right there. And it will ultimately affect all of us. So, as many of you know, Roe versus Wade has been overturned by the Supreme Court, and the manner in which they did so doesn't immediately make abortion illegal everywhere in the United States. It simply allows individual states to make their own decisions regarding that topic. Well, the states are deeply ideologically divided, so states like California will have access, and states like Texas, it'll be mostly illegal, at least partially restricted, right? And this is a rights issue for women. It's a body autonomy issue. It's a public health issue. Honestly, even for some people, it's a survival issue because I'm going to talk about something that's very uncomfortable that I didn't really want to get into yet until I got all the details. But as many of you know, I'm going through some health crises lately and my body's not in the best of conditions. And as a part of all of that, I did some genetic testing. And I only have one or two genes active that actively affect my health, but I'm a carrier for like a lot of stuff. Not a little bit, not oh, it might happen, but like, holy crap, I'm lucky that I didn't get any of these genes. I have a lot of like nightmare level recessive genes that no child should ever be born with. So I learned that about a month or so ago, and it wasn't the biggest deal. But abortion has almost immediately been restricted here in Texas, so I worry that should my wife become pregnant, and should I be unfortunate, or even probably really 50-50 odds with the way my genes are made, that the child may not be viable or may not have a good, reasonable quality of life. I carry some really horrible things in my body. So if mistakes were made, that option is no longer available to me, or to her, probably much more important to her than to me. And since I'm in the state of Texas, I can get in trouble even if we go out of state for those kind of services. I think that they have like a sort of like your neighbors can narc you out and get cash rewards, or they definitely get cash rewards for narking out doctors that perform this illegally. So for the first time in a very long time, an issue like this has hit close to home. If something fails, if something goes wrong, my wife and I might be faced with a horrible decision of, should we allow an extremely deformed baby to be born? And that leads into other things as well, because in the ruling about Roe versus Wade, Justice Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, talked about reevaluating almost all unenumerated rights and listed a variety of cases that I'm not going to go into the legal precepts for. But essentially, it's the right to purchase contraceptives, more specifically for married people to purchase contraceptives, a number of same-sex marriage laws, and I think one of them that related to sodomy laws and same-sex pairing. It's sort of a Fifth Amendment, like, is it legal to search, like, can you prove people are gay kind of thing to be punished? So that if those were rolled back, it would again be up to the individual states to pass their own regulations. And here in the state of Texas and many southern states, they're very much so against things like contraceptives. So sometime in the next, I don't know, we'll say generously 5 years, I could be living in a state where contraceptives are restricted or perhaps not legal. And I could have a genetic makeup such that having a child with my partner is risky, perhaps, and I don't have any other options should the risk go wrong. So it really hits home and it really affects me, and I think it's going to affect a lot of people. I'm sitting over here complaining about my male problems. I think a lot of women are going to be facing horrible decisions. Not every state will have exceptions for rape, incest, for extremely deformed babies. I think it was Missouri that was trying to pass a law that required ectopic pregnancies to continue, or ectopic pregnancies, which are like 99% fatal. So you can force women to either die giving birth or to get a street abortion and then go to jail, because that'll be a felony. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, it'll even force people to like get raped by their father or brother or whatever to have the incest babies, or It could be something insane like an escaped convict breaks out of jail and rapes somebody's 13-year-old daughter, and if she gets pregnant, some states would probably require her to give birth to the baby and take care of it, or pay child support if the father takes it for whatever bizarre reason. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world. And I know a lot of you are probably getting ready to crap on me right now and call me a baby killer and you guys just love killing babies. It's not like that. I actually don't. I actually butt heads with a lot of people on this because I do consider fetuses important and life important and babies important. But things like this, these absolute hard black and white rules don't apply to really real reality very well. The really real world is full of gray areas. I've had this happen in my family. I will keep the details very scant, but in my family in the past, there have been rape and incest pregnancies. There was one pregnancy from somebody that was related to organized crime that really didn't want their mistress to give birth to a child because that's a whole different legal problem. And this is in the past, abortions were less legal, so they had to choose street abortions, which were expensive and dangerous. And the really real world doesn't match up to these black and white sort of dynamics. On top of things like that, you have the Freakonomics study that indicates that unwanted children are the primary drivers of crime because they're not going to be taken care of. And you would say, well, the parents should take care of their children. We should make them. And that's great. And I agree. I think parents should be a million times more responsible for their children. But that's just not reality. They're not going to be. People are going to keep being crummy until the end of time. And a part of me, we're going off into conspiracy theory land here. I'm not even doing the presenter voice, the kind of stuff. We're just sort of normal speaking today. A part of me wonders if this is some sort of bizarre plan for population control. A lot of millennials and young people in the United States are choosing not to have children, mostly for fear of environmental issues or simple financial struggles. I mean, a lot of people have outrageous amounts of debt. They can't afford to live. There's no job security, no retirement. Children are very expensive. So as a nation, we're not reproducing that much. I think we might be right just barely at replacement rate. And as a racist version of this theory, there's the white replacement theory, because you know that a lot of the Spanish cultures that are moving in and Asians and stuff are having a lot more kids than the white people here. And a part of me wonders if this is some sort of bizarre conspiracy to force young millennials to just have more children and get the population growing again and be economically competitive and on par with China and some of this kind of stuff. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. And what really worries me is I feel that this mess is just starting. Like this today was a paperwork thing. But the consequences and effects of this will be felt for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And as I mentioned before, contraceptives, same-sex marriage, sodomy laws, and honestly, God knows what else is on the chopping block. I feel like the real problems are yet to begin, and this could unfortunately get crazier. I've been a little bit black pill lately, guys, honestly. I feel like I'm living in a world without compromise. I feel like I'm living in a country that's just trying its best to eat itself whole in a world that's going crazy. And I'm trying to make the best sense of it. And this just kind of kicked me in the gut. It really, really hit home, after getting those test results and talking to my wife that, if we ever get pregnant, we're going to have to do these tests and we're going to have to make sure the baby's okay and probably even test her before we'd even try something like that. And now if today I make a mistake and she gets pregnant, it could be just a total disaster. It could be anything. So, yeah, that's me. I'm a little bit stressed. I'm a little bit worried about the future. And I know that this isn't a fun or pleasant topic. I know a lot of you look to me for entertainment, for gaming news. There is some of you that enjoy the philosophy and the politics and the opinions and things like that. But I'm very well aware that a video like this will offend roughly half of the audience. And I'm aware that making content like this ultimately hurts my channel. I lose subscribers, I lose money, I lose ad revenue, it hurts me in the rankings. It sort of outs me to have to appeal to a certain audience, I suppose. And I'm not sitting here making these videos to virtue signal to all of you, to be a crybaby about, the things I want in the world, or to get my little cool participation ribbon that I did the thing and shared the hashtag. But these are real problems in a really real world. And I don't know where it's going. I don't think it's good. I feel relatively helpless to do anything about it, so I'm just gonna ride this out and try to affect what positive change I can with my limited influence on YouTube, and basically the only thing I'm able to do which is to talk to you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and even if you don't agree with my opinions, I hope that you can at least respect them, because I do think about these things a lot and I try to have well-rounded opinions. So if by some miracle you enjoyed this somewhat grim video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.